Hello and welcome to the Stress Mastery Podcast, Saturday edition. I am your host, Peggy Romero. Thank you for joining me today. Finally, it's Saturday, and this week on the podcast, we have been discussing resilience. So, resilience is the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties. It's toughness. Practice makes perfect, right? So does that mean that we need to keep getting knocked down just so we can get back up? Is that resilience? Yep, I actually think it is. And man, we've been knocked down. All of us have, haven't we? We zig when we should have zagged, but we figure out how to get back up and get on track. Yeah, we get right back up and get right back on track because the faster we do it, the more resilient we are. Resiliency is a very important thing then for us to be successful in our life. I mean, seriously. Are you going to live in fear of falling again, or are you going to take the risk? Are you going to shrink from a challenge, or are you going to grow through it? I love that saying, you grow through what you go through, because we all have the opportunity to grow from whatever stuff comes at us. You know, I got this really nice compliment from a really good friend of mine a long, long time ago named Chris G. I think I was maybe about, in my mid-20s when she said this. And it always gave me cause to think because I thought everybody was like this. She said, Peggy, you have an uncanny ability to find new ways, to be able to make new paths, to just get back up and try over and over. I remember her telling me that I was so persistent that I just wouldn't give up without a fight. And she explained to me how she could just see me like, so you want to get to the other side of the mountain, so you start trying your climb just straight up over it, the shortest, easiest path. Nope. You roll back down. You get back up, dust off your knees. You try to go around the right side. Oh, you can't make it down at the bottom, so you veer upwards. Oh, crap, slid back down. Stay there for a minute. Look at your opportunities. Try the left side. Nope, no avail. But still, you won't quit. You just figure out how to carry some dynamite in your backpack and blow up the middle and walk right through. Her brother Dale also told me, like 10 years later, we were out to dinner one night. And he said, I think you're successful because you just can't take no for an answer. You don't know how. You always find the way to do it. You see what you want and you figure out how to go for it. You're the only person I've ever known who has failed so many times. You repeatedly trip, fall, slip, and land in buckets of crap, but always come out smelling like a rose. You always find the best in everything. I think that's resiliency. And I think that's how I got that way. Trial and error. I accidentally created a skill, but it was because I had to. Toughness. Accidentally, though. Now I'm trying to not be so tough, right, Bill? I am so thankful that I've tried and failed and lost and got back up so many times. I've had so much practice losing, failing, getting uncomfortable with getting knocked down, but then getting comfortable with the being knocked down and knowing how to get back up. Yeah, I've been knocked down many times, but I refuse to stay down. I just don't have it in me. I can't do it. It started out early, completely ego-driven. I'll show you, Lucy would tell anyone who told me I couldn't do it. I didn't want to lose. Or maybe I just didn't want to be told no. I'm not sure why. But the getting back up after getting knocked down so many times, wow, big, big blessing. It's a skill. I can take it. I can actually take getting knocked flat on my ass because I've been on the floor countless times and I don't like it down there. So I get back up as quickly as possible. It has forced me to adapt, change, and grow. I learned to flex that resiliency muscle and I've had lots of practice. But still, Lucy, my ego, hates it. She wants me to stop. She wants me to stay in this comfort zone that I'm in now. That's what the ego does. No matter where we are, that's our cage. Wants us to stay there. I've had a terrible fear of failure in my life. I don't like the spotlight on me. It's much better now than it used to be. But, it's true. I think it's because I failed so many times that I got used to failing, so I do a little bit better with it. I mean, seriously, I can't even count the number of times I've lost. Hundreds, maybe even thousands. I don't know. I can't tell you honestly because I probably quit counting like 50 years ago. So on a brighter note, Edward Hickson said, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Perhaps that's the best saying ever created. I love it. Bill Courtwright says, you can't fail if you don't quit. Oh my gosh, so true. If you put both of those together, you can make a great rule to live by. We can go far in life. In fact, you can go wherever you want. Keep trying and never quit. Over time, this attitude has helped me be able to overcome my paralyzing fear of failure. And if I try something and it doesn't work, like Chris G said, I'll just find another way up the mountain. And if I fall down, I'll get up and find a different way. I still win as long as I don't quit. I'll just get back up and go back to it. Resiliency, conflict, resolution. Get out of your comfort zone, guys. So earlier this week on the podcast, Bill suggested creating conscious chaos, which I thought was awesome. He had mentioned 5 ways to build the resiliency muscle. Number 1, take an inventory of yourself. Number 2, awareness. 3, self-care, like the ability to expand in the environment that we're in. Number 4, have more expansive relationships. 5, purpose. Set your goals. Stay connected to your heart. If I could add one more thing to that list, I would say, believe that you can do it. Put one foot in front of the other, the small steps. Yes. If you fail, it's okay. But if you believe you can do it, then you'll get back up and try again. We will never be resilient if we coil up in fear and refuse to accept the truth. We have to be willing to face our fears. Grow through what you go through. If you refuse to go through the conflict in the first place and just sit there and happy, you're never going to grow. So Shawshank Redemption, I love that movie. Get busy living or get busy dying. I still remember when I heard that, how it resonated with me. I just couldn't believe it. I was probably, in my young 30s. It set off this fire in me, like this spark. I'd been so down and I was tired of getting knocked on my butt. I was like a little goody two-shoes back then, never wanting to make anybody unhappy, always caring about what other people thought. And it's not like I turned bad or anything. I guess what I'm saying is that I started being less concerned with what other people said or thought about me. Like, people would always tell me when I was young what was okay for me to do or not okay for me to do. And I started going against my parents' wishes and stepping out of that box a little bit. Like, I bought a house that needed a ton of work and my parents really didn't want me to. I refinanced that house later and bought 5 acres of land so I could someday build a house for me and my kids so we could move out of the city and into the country to have a better life. And I did it. Truth be told, though, it took me so long to build that place that my daughter Melissa had graduated high school and refused to move out to the country with me, but still I did it. That is the kind of stuff that keeps us going. If at first you don't succeed, it's okay. Just keep going. Don't give up on yourself. So I have a friend named Tawny. I've known her for ever and a day. And here's what she said to me when, we were probably in our 20s. She said, you can't just get a haircut. You have to learn to cut hair. But you can't just be a hairdresser. You have to own the salon that you work at. You can't just go on a trip. You have to be a travel agent. You can't buy houses. You need to become a realtor. I can't help it, you guys. Everything is so interesting to me. I love everything. And that's a blessing. I'm sure that I have never been bored a day in my life. I could pretty much count that. When I went to college, if I had enough money, I would still be in there because I would have so many degrees. I could barely decide which classes to take. They all seem so interesting. I like to do things. I love the experience. And most damn successful. Win the day. I am a conflict resolution professional. Stress mastery, seriously, has changed my life and thousands of others too. So the other day when Bill was talking about the conscious chaos, he's telling us, step out of your comfort zone and do something different. Grow, stretch, set your mind and keep it set. What can you do that you've been putting off? Come on, I know there's something. We all have desires and dreams, even if we don't share them with anyone. But I do also know that most people listening to this podcast, you probably have firm goals in place. And if you don't, you have them in your head and they're probably written down. And if not, let me ask you, why not? I mean, life's going to pass whether you're living your true self or not. So living through the cage mind, living through the ego, it's a waste of time. You only have one life. So connect to your heart. Step out of the head and get moving. If you aren't living your authentic self, please, guys, pop into the community. It's free for the first 30 days, as you know. Check it out. Do the higher goal setting module. Get your goals set. Start living on purpose. It's a different way of doing goals, and it's so helpful. I mean, make a decision to live your best life. Live on purpose. So speaking of living on purpose, as you know, I am a published author. I'm a #1 best-selling author in several categories, as a matter of fact. I should be so proud of myself. I mean, I did it. Ta-da! I set a goal, I went for it, and I accomplished it. Why shy away from talking about it? Well, because I have a problem selling myself sometimes. So I also step away from talking about my book more often than I should. For some reason, I feel like a bragger. And let's face it, I don't like rejection. I don't think anybody does. So what do I do when this happens? When I'm shrinking in fear, right? What do I do when I'm disconnected from my purpose? When I want to cry uncle or decide, my life's actually good enough the way it is. Well, all I have to do is remember my why. Because I know from the bottom of my heart that I was placed on this earth to help people. I didn't go through all this stuff for no reason. I didn't meet Bill on accident. I didn't learn from all these mistakes I've made for nothing. I need to share them with people. There is a reason for every single thing that we've gone through, the good and the bad. So I'm a vitality purpose. So I want everyone to live their best life. I want to raise up all the energy around me. I want you to do your best. I love for people to be happy, to feel good about themselves, to live their best life. So when I reconnect to that, then I'm willing to put myself out there again. Then I have the faith to step out. I have to accept that I may be rejected. Yeah, they might not want my book. They may not give two hoots about my story. But I have to remind myself, I didn't pour my guts out on those pages to make money on that book in the first place. I did it for the credibility. I wrote my story because it can help other people. I wanted to be a best-selling author so that people would be interested in hearing me speak and come to the events and retreats that I put on, or read my book and see that they can do it too. I have goals and dreams and plans that will help other people live a wonderful life. And Lucy wants me to shy away from all that. Peggy, the real me, wants to step up and out. Conflict, conflict, conflict. So I've been doing just what Bill said about the conscious chaos. I am working on becoming the person that I always wanted to be. So last week I joined Toastmasters. Speakers speak. So now I have a plan to learn how to be a better speaker. They give out awards every week, and I'll be trying to earn one every time I open my mouth. Of course, just like Tawny said, I can't give a speech. I have to be the best speaker. It was so funny because last week I was saying on this very podcast that I like everyone to win. So it's funny in this position because if I win, then I beat somebody and they're a loser. So sorry, I just really want to do my best. I want the prize. So I can tell you with certainty that even if I don't receive an award every week, I have enough resiliency that I'm going to come back next week and the next week and every week. I can already tell that this club is for me. And they have Toastmasters in Portland, where I'll be going when I leave here. They have a Toastmasters outside of Pella, Iowa, where I'll be spending a lot of my summer. So I'm going to have to reintroduce myself to new people constantly. This is great practice for my future. I mean, I can't be an awesome speaker if I don't want to talk to strangers, right? So I have to roll with the punches, step out of my comfort zone over and over. I set myself up for that. Set myself up to face new challenges, to meet new people constantly. Do it scared, but do it anyways. That'll help you become resilient. Flex the muscle over and over. And so here's what I'm up to. Conflict resolution. Stepping out of the comfort zone. And I'm so excited. Okay, so because Saturday, which is the day that this podcast comes out, I have a little booth at a craft fair to sell my book, but mostly to share what I do. I mean, after all, I'm an author, a speaker, and a coach, but hardly anybody knows it. I plan beautiful workshops and events that help raise up the energy of people. I can teach people how to climb up and out. I will be sharing the message that you can't fail if you don't quit. I can give them firsthand experience of growing through what you're going through. I can help people understand what get busy living or get busy dying means. And I have millions of stories to illustrate. If at first you don't succeed, try again. If I want to help people, I have to be able to put myself out there. I have to learn to sell myself. So here's the plan. I make this big, beautiful poster of my book cover. And I've crafted some journals because it's a craft fair, so I thought I needed something homemade. And of course, I will have my books on display. I mean, after all, they're for sale, right? And I'm a marketer, and I'm learning to become a marketer of Peggy Romero, selling myself. I want to make sure I get plenty of attention at my booth amid dozens of others. So I'm baking fresh chocolate chip cookies. So yesterday I had to go get my food handler's card from Arizona and a home baker's license. Maybe I'll become a cupcake baker. Remember, I love everything, including cupcakes. That actually sounds pretty fun. Yet I digress. Okay, so I got the baker's license so that I could give away free cookies while I let them know who I am and what I offer. The reason I'm telling you this is because this is resiliency in action. I'm pushing myself out of the comfort zone. I refuse to stay trapped. I don't want to stand there with a few books and just sit there and hope that somebody will stop by and talk to me. They're not going to. So I found a different way up the mountain, get to my goal. I made a beautiful display. It will be visually appealing. And my journals look nice. And I mean, seriously, who can resist fresh baked chocolate chip cookies? I made sure that I got a spot where I have a plug so I can plug in my little oven and cook them all morning. The room will be filled with the aroma. They'll be seeking me out. I mean, who can resist? Well, don't worry, Bill. I can resist. I'm waiting my cheat day for Tuesday. Promise. So what am I saying here? I'm not exactly where I want to be. And my book is called Finally Becoming Who You Were Always Meant to Be. Becoming. I am becoming. I never said I was there yet. As a matter of fact, I will never be there. There will always be one more thing, one more idea, one more plan, one more goal. But I know my shortcomings. I know the comfort zone that I live in that I'm trying to force myself out of. I could see Lucy telling me every day, nobody's going to come to your stupid booth. Well, this is resistance. She wants me to give up. And these are the wants, the want of control. Of course, I want to control the outcome. I want people to come to my booth and love it. The want of approval, the want to belong. Like I said, I've not arrived there yet, but I'm so much better than I used to be. I'm testing the waters to see how this works. I don't want to set myself up for failure. So I made a plan to appeal to everybody's senses. A nice looking poster. My books will be displayed nicely. The journals are lovely. They could pick them up and touch them. They can smell and taste the fresh baked cookies. I think this is a great idea. How can they resist coming over to talk to me? I believe they will come. And at the same time, I don't actually know that they will. So I'm still putting myself out there, willing to be rejected. And nobody likes rejection. I'm doing it scared, but I'm doing it anyways. And you know what, guys? I am so stinking resilient. If the cookies don't work, so be it. I will fall, get up, and I'll figure out something different for the next time. I'm super excited. Conscious chaos. I'm taking on the challenge. Bull by the horns. I'm sure this will be successful because I don't care if I sell the journals. I don't care if they like my cookies. I'm trying to promote Peggy Romero, and I believe they're going to come over and talk to me. So that's a win. So they say keep your eye on the prize. Well, that's the prize for today, the day, just to talk to people. To step out of my comfort zone is another win. Make people aware of who I am, bonus. I have a story to tell, and my story may be able to help them. When we're resilient, it's so much easier to handle life's ebbs and flows. The Toastmasters is a weekly challenge for me, the craft fair a one-time thing. My constant challenge is shifting my health category. This has been my struggle for years. David Goggins had mentioned having a 24-year-old fat guy inside of him saying, yep, I'm still here. Well, I have the opposite. I have this 45-year-old, cute, little, fit, healthy, beautiful woman inside of me saying, Peggy, I'm right here. Shed it off. You no longer need that weight. You don't need to protect yourself from anybody anymore. But here's the thing. It's tough. I have to admit, most things come pretty easy to me. Yeah, I work really hard for everything I have. I figure out how to do it and it's done. But not this. I keep trying to figure it out. Yep, I've lost quite a little bit of weight, but I have much more to go. And I have spent so much time arguing with myself, and probably you, Bill, because I think it should be easier. I think it should be fair. Well, Lucy does anyways. And I'm so sick of people saying, oh, Peg, just go for a walk after dinner. I took off 40 pounds just by doing that. Oh, just try cutting carbs. You'll lose weight. It falls right off. You don't have to work as hard as you do. Just walk on the treadmill slowly for 30 minutes. And here's one. If you can stick to your diet and exercise for 80% of the time, you'll be in the best shape ever. Well, I'm here to tell you people, the 80% rule doesn't work for me. Believe me, I've tried it. And neither do any of the other things I just mentioned, and 100 others that I've tried. Okay, and remember, I'm a vitality purpose. I swing into stagnation, so I want it to work, and I want it to work now, right now. Finally, a month ago, after all these years of working with Bill, I realized how many calories were actually in my coffee creamer. I have been just like BSing myself for years. I don't know any other way of putting it. I took a closer look at every single thing I'm doing. And I just don't get to do it the easy way. So I choose to drink my coffee black. Finally, stop fighting the system. Have I lost weight yet? No. I mean, maybe a couple pounds in a month, but I feel some muscles in the back of my arms, I think. But here's my win. You guys are going to think I'm crazy, but I'm elated. Okay, so my dad has this, well, he's passed away. He had this really big, thick neck, like kind of no neck. It just goes straight from your face down to your shoulders. And that's what I have too. So I haven't lost anything off my waist, but I lost an inch off my neck. I'm so excited about this. I'm serious. This will keep me going for another month. So those Ys that Bill's been talking about, the small Ys, I got 1 million of them. I take it back. I used to have 1 million of them. I don't have to work out today. God, I thank you. I get to work out today. And you guys, my workouts take me more than an hour and a half, which is crazy for me. And I was supposed to be doing this all along, by the way, I know. But for the past 30 or 45 days I've been doing it, I've passed the 30-day testing. I feel really great, even though you can't see any difference. And I had to start riding my bike to the gym instead of walking because when I'm done with my strength training and my hour of cardio, I have so much excess energy to burn off that I need to go for a bike ride for 20 minutes. Can you believe it? I mean, that's amazing. I really kind of feel like I've come around full circle. I get to work out today. I choose to work out today. I choose to drink my coffee black. I had a guest here this week, Kat. So excited. My ego didn't even try to get me to skip a workout. Well, truth be told, it did try to get me to cut out 10 minutes early Monday, but it didn't get too far. I didn't even think about it. But then last night, she said, since you worked out so much today, would you be able to ask Bill if you burned off a couple hundred more calories? Maybe we could go out to dinner. Lucy didn't even try to talk to me about it. I was not facing her at the time. I was making a pot of decaf in the afternoon, and I just thought to myself, why on earth would I want to do that? I know motivation comes and goes, but boy, today I've got it and I am grateful. But the storm will be coming. You guys, the storm is always coming. Conflicts all around us every day. The world is changing fast and we get tossed around sometimes. Unexpected difficulties. But, I also believe that we're in the right place at the right time. It seems like sometimes you feel like you're completely off course, just flailing around and not knowing why. All of this adversity is coming at me. Remember, just find the now. Just take a breath. Slow down. Live in the present moment. I have figured out that I can make much better decisions in the green zone than I can in the red zone. And right now, for every one of us, everything is okay. And even in the midst of the storm, we can have peace. I've also seen millions of times, well, maybe not millions, but lots of times, when the storm subsides and the wind stops pushing you off course, you realize you're actually not off course. You are exactly where you need to be. Guys, be flexible and willing. Stay connected to your heart. Be grateful. Love yourself. If at first you don't succeed, it's okay. Dry your tears, dust off your knees, get your butt back up and try it again, and try it again, and try it again. You got it. That's resiliency. Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast today. I hope you enjoy my message. If you haven't heard the podcast every day this week, oh my gosh, fantastic. Go back and listen to it. Share it with your friends. I've had a few friends mention to me this week how much they appreciated the message, so happy about it. Love the Stress Mastery podcast. I really appreciate your support, so I hope that we're connected. Follow me at PeggyWithPurpose on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can also visit my website at PeggyRomero.com. You can find all my previous podcasts in there, articles, blog posts, and some really good healthy recipes. So I think that there's something in there for everyone. If there's not, I'm working on it. Well, that's it for today's podcast. Remember, our mission here is to create a shift in the planet, and you can join us on this mission by simply like, share, and subscribe. The links are right below the show notes. As always, until next time, stay inspired.